Good evening, everybody. Happy Saturday. It was a bit late starting to get set up down here. Finished watching the Jays game. And they beat Boston, which is always a good thing. Let's give everybody a few minutes to get in here. Gonna do a couple different things. I've got a sign that Dan from Yelton Models printed up for me, and like a diesel tank. You see it on farms or construction sites. Both of those are available at Yelton Models. There's his info. And then I got a few random figures that have been sitting for a while that I gotta do kind of in between working on the sign. And for anybody that doesn't already know, coming up after me at 9 o'clock is Ted, which is the Saturday Night Weathering. There's a QR code up in the corner. And just before I finish, I'll make sure I put a link in there for anybody that hasn't subscribed to his channel yet. Hey, there's Ted. Noah, hello. And I think Ted's doing a card hopper this week. He did a really cool hopper last week, really nice orange. I'd like to say I remember the name of it, but it was cool sounding though. So for the signs or the sign in the diesel tank, I just did some random rust paint on them, and then I sprayed the AK chipping fluid on it. So I think what we'll do is we'll start with those. This will be a white gray I'll put on it. You know, I should probably read this real quick. It's the same for this one. Okay. I remembered what I was supposed to do. That's when. And I'll use this one first. That looks pretty dry there. Yeah, you can make yourself the extra big sandwich. Extra mayo or whatever you put on it in New Jersey. Normally, I think I'd probably airbrush this on, but I don't want to my airbrush on a live. It's a little bit loud, and they don't have what you might call it over here, like a spray booth or anything. So everything will be covered. This is just a cut up makeup sponge. For full coverage type of thing like this, I'll do a fairly tight, like if I was so when I do the rust on like that sign, I use a grout sponge because it's got a little more. It's like a little more porous, like open, so you get a bit more of a pattern to it. Where with these makeup sponges, it's like a full coverage type of situation. About the hose or anything at the moment. You can see the chipping fluid's working already. I don't think it was fully dry. I hit it pretty hard. And I did it the other day. I was gonna test them out and I just never got to it. So here we are. Let's just go at it. Read about that a little bit. Sorry if you can hear my dog upstairs tap dancing. I'm going to do a wash on this after, which will take care of most of the so crevasses. And I gotta come back with another color and do the lettering and the wolf. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do for the wolf yet. I have to pick a color fairly quick. I ran out of paint. Well, a bunch of people are at the Sydney RPM this weekend. Or not Sydney, St. Louis. Not sure. Yeah, slightly smaller crowd tonight. Hopefully next year I make it there. Let's see what happens. That's that one. Set sponge off to side. We're going for an old look, so we'll use a faded green. Making sure I stay pretty straight up and down on this so it doesn't get down on the main part. Or over on the side like I just did. That's fine. And let me medium gray. I could have done this dude green. Have a bit of variation. Get this inside circle. There we go. Set that one off to dry. Put that there. Use a little squirt. And use this brush because it's a little bit beat up. Get a toothpick. Previously used for other stuff. Does not matter for what we're about to do. Unfolded papier towel. There. Let's see what happens. So I've got one of these at my work. I see it quite often, so I kind of get an idea what it looks like. I look at it far too much, I guess. Once all this is done, we'll add a rusty wash over the top. But for the most part, it does a very much a rundown, or it looks like there was rust at the top and it sort of streaks down. Sort of close. Not sure if this turned out exactly what I was hoping for, but keep messing with it until it does. I think I need to drop my paper towel. Robert, how's it going? Welcome in. Cut. Yeah, that's a bit closer there now. Actually, switch. My big fat hands in the way. Mm, I just cut the toothpick on an angle to give it a bit of a flat surface. Really not going to be much white left on this by the time we're done, I don't think. Nope, need to make the stuff on here. Maybe this is the ticket. Well, the great thing about layouts is usually you only see stuff from one side. So if you botch one side of something, you just turn it around. Nobody will ever know. Yep, definitely liking the way that one looks a lot. But come over here, see if I can clean this up a bit. Yeah, good enough. We're just going to switch back over to saying this is the side we're going to use here. Does not look like the one at my work, but good enough. Oh, Bruce, how's it going? I was wondering, I recognize the castle name. You're out in Nova Scotia, New Brunswick area, correct? Bruce and Teddy and myself are all on the operating crew, so we usually talk on Tuesdays. And that's actually being part of that, has been responsible for me making a bunch of friends in model railroading, probably more than any other method, um, whether it be directly or indirectly. And it's $3 US a month. You get entered into all the draws. You get access to the call on Tuesday, which just that for $3, I would pay that gladly. It's always a great time talking with guys and learning and bouncing ideas off everybody, see what everyone's up to. And you also get to meet people from places other than where you are. That side's pretty jacked up, but the rest of it looks all right. So I'll just put the messed up side against the wall. And the good news is we screwed up on kind of the one that would have been easier out of the two to redo if I needed to. sticking to that anymore. So we're just going to set that right there. That can go up there. Give that a little rinse. I need a drink. All right. Let's see if I can not screw this one completely up. My hand's in the way when I'm here, too. I think this might only be my maybe second time using this chipping fluid thing, so I'm still kind of learning as I go. Which is the case for a lot of things that I do because I'm still fairly new again to the hobby. And of course, lots has changed since I was 12. We're getting a bit of rest on the wolf dude here. There's a camera washing it out really bad. Yeah, it is. Let's try switching back to the overhead. Over the head. Can you see it on this one? A little bit. Little bit. It's kind of one of the ongoing struggles with doing live streams is you need enough light to see what you're doing. But if you have too much light, it'll wash out certain things and you can't really, it doesn't show well. So this guy's being a little more stubborn than that other one. Instead of dragging this, I'm just going to poke at it, I think. Just doing it as fast as I can so I don't have a chance to aim it. The hardest part of a lot of weathering is being random on purpose. Hey, Dan, how's it going? Just in time. Just taking this sign from a nicely painted, looking wonderful to old and rusty. Or something. John, how's it going? No, I wanted to do these ones first, and then the water tower will be next. So we'll probably do the water tower next week. That'll be my thing for next week. May have tried it. I'm just gonna do a bit more. Get that out of there. Just get some on the bottom. Bobby! There we are. So, for those who joined late, here's the diesel tank that we started with. And the sign. I can get it to not wash it. I'm trying to block one of the lights here with my hand. And if you guys give me a second, I'm just going to go and hit these with. Nope, not going to do that yet. But I will be just jumping off. Well, the stream will still be going, but I'm going to just scoot to the other side of the room, hit these with a quick clear coat, and we'll dick around with some figures and get back to these. And I think one thing I'll do is show. So I've got some guys that I put the oil paints on about a week ago, and a couple of them they're a little bit reddish. So we'll see if we can fix that. A couple of the ones right in front of me are a little bit reddish as well. Let's try. It's pretty close. All right, I'll take it. Stuff smells horrible. So this was the chipping fluid that I used on it. There's a number AK089. So where's this brush? We'll use this one. This is the dude that I noticed that's. So this is the good part about the oil paint. It never, or it takes a long time for it to fully set up. So we can come back in with that same brush. See that side compared to that side. Stand there, you little bugger. All right, he's all sorted. Cowboy dude, he's got the same problem. Figure this guy's probably outside, so he's good chance he's sunburnt. I can't sacrifice any. What kind of sandwiches are on the menu tonight? One of these days I'll have to do that pork store from that TV show that everybody knows from New Jersey. Not that Jersey Shore shit. Oh, let's start with some pants. No, let's start with some hats. Work top down, I guess. Well, you made a look what I found sandwich. Oh, what happened to this dude's hat? Straw hats are still chewed up. Get that something lighter because it doesn't look like much of a cowboy hat to me. Here we go. Whoop. Almost a disaster. Just gonna get some of this crap off the brush. I'm not sure how much of these figures we're gonna get done. They're not the high priority tonight. I'm gonna paint my finger that much. Yeah, that's good. Two more fellows with hats. I like doing straight black on figures, other than shoes. Well, one of these guys is about to get a black hat. Up to me, everyone would be wearing Blue Jay hats in here, but might look a bit funny on the layout if every single person has a blue hat on. Everyone with a hat is finished. And that. Only fella. Without a hat, he'll get some hair color. Just do everything I do on the figures. Hair is probably the hardest thing for me to do. Color wise, I'm okay with it, but man, sometimes it's hard to see the hairline. So you sort of gotta guess at it a little bit. Oh, he's got a big old bald spot. Let me fix that. Sorry, I have to do it off camera. I have to hold it right under a light so I can see this. Make a shot. Like there's, I guess that would be the trick for it, which would be next to impossible to show on camera, but I just take it over to one of the lights and I just move it around until I can sort of see, like, catch the shadow underneath where the hair is. And that's my only way of really tracking down where it's supposed to be. All right, that's done. This gently used paper towel to clean up this. The sign in the diesel tank should be dry. Mr. Hobby Clear dries pretty fast. All right, back we go. Yeah. There we go. Ow, I headbutted the camera, my bad. Sorry. Oh. Mute. This one first. Yeah, that's good. That one will. We'll do this guy first. No, let's do this guy first. I'm going to do another wash on it. It's just a pre-made Vallejo deal. It's good for the first bit. Lane. This makes this thing look like a little bit closer to what it looks like at work. One at work is more rust than it is paint. And just like what Ted teaches us with doing the cars, just top to bottom. And rain and whatever else hits this, and it just pulls it down the side. Oh, on that guy. Need something else on this one. This, I just wanted to get down in all the little crevasses and everything. Get to it quick because this is not the enamel one. This is the acrylic one, I think. So it's going to set really quick. Again, using something I learned from watching Ted. Use the makeup sponge to swipe down, pull off the extra. There. There. We need a little bit of red. Some rubber black. Just make it. No, it doesn't. Because the pumps will get replaced more often than the tanks. And what work, we've replaced a couple of them, so it could be a new pump on there. It's quite possible. That would be thing. Sort of black, sort of rusty. Just a fill hole for it. I'll go by painting the fittings that are on these. Definitely get the hose. Go. And little faded green on here. In Canada, the diesel handles are green. I think in the States they're yellow. I think. And the green ones in the States are E85. Something like that. I remember one of the trips to Delaware I did, I had to stop and get fuel, and I pulled up to the green handle, and it's a good thing I read it. This would also be good in like a maintenance away facility or something like that. They got to fill up little bobcats or excavators, backhoes. Probably wouldn't. Well, you're either going to fill up that or trucks. You'd have two different types of diesel or colors, anyways. If it goes on the road, it's got to have the mint green flavor. If it doesn't go on the road, or if it's a reefer, you can use the cherry flavor. Getting pretty close there. We're gonna need a fuel spill on this. 100%. Because when they fill it up till it's at the top and coming out. You know, do that after. Where did I put those other doodads? These, come on, oil stain. You will Tamiya palettes. Get out of there. 30-minute warning for episode 44 of Saturday Night Live Weathering. So this is the oil color in palette D. And I'm going to use this almost like an understain for the AK fuel stains. And I had some dust or something after, I think. How's this dude looking? I just need some dust. Let's do the fuel stains on here, and then we'll go back to the ironwood sign. That should get us fairly close to time. Come on. Off of there. Cooperating. Just minimal fighting. One side. The trick with pulling stains down the side of something is figure out how your hand works. My hand naturally pulls crooked. I can force it straight, but it doesn't always work out. So I know that I need to go at it almost like on an angle as opposed to trying to pull. Like it's hard to pull like this. It's easy to pull the way your fingers want to go. And like unless you're pulling, a 1 foot stripe. And fast. That's the other key. The slower you go, the more likely it is to have a wobble. And put one more right up here to put a much smaller one because there's always a bit of a drip. Just like that. That's all that needs. When you hang the handle back up, it gets you get the odd little or depending on who's work yet. Pardon me. Whew. Could get a bunch of drips. It's the young kid doing it who doesn't give a shit. All So that's done, that's done. That. So that dude right there. Do some of this track arrest. One of my most. Oh, you know what? I think that's what this one is. It don't look like it. That's probably the worst way you can ever test if something's still wet, to just stick your finger on it. See what happens. Yep, 100% that was still wet. Oh, we'll go with it. What I will not be doing is sticking the brush back in the bottle. All right, that dude needs to dry for a while. Brad, how's it going? Welcome. Glad you can make it. I didn't muck that brush too bad, so we'll set it off to the side. And to use for this one. Two. Medium rust from the top. So it looks like this color. There we go. And switch brushes and go to some dark earth for the bottom, because there's a pretty good chance this thing would just be sitting in dirt. Now this is where you do run away. It's the one time that you go bottom up. This was the good side. That side ended up turning out not too bad. Still think I like this one better. Set that like that. And ta-da. Let's see if this camera wants to cooperate today. So you need to find the mouse. There we are. Oh, there we go. One remote diesel fill-up tank. 4 guys with painted hats. There's the current state of the sign. I think I'm going to have to work a bit more on this one. But like usual, I just keep adding layers to stuff until it turns into what I want it to turn into. From last week, here are the belt pack operators. All finished up together. Get them up with their GP9s. We're on time. All right, we got 15 minutes. I think my dog just farted. Goodness. So I'm going to have to get some more of these tanks, I think, because these things actually turn out really good. There we go. All right. So I think I may wrap it here, which will give me a few minutes before Ted starts his, which will be in about 15 minutes. I'm going to get the link for his show. It was a Waddell Cole last week. That's what it was. Waddell. Or I guess depending on how you pronounce it, it could be Waddle Cole. And here's a link for the 9 o'clock show. If you haven't checked them out, make sure you do. Subscribe. Turn on the bells because sometimes we change our times. And I will see you all next week. Have a great week, everyone.